Hey, good morning, good night, good afternoon, wherever you are. But for me, it's good morning, Saturday morning. We're watching some cartoons, some Saturday morning cartoons. Bringing it back the old days. I miss those days. Just laying back, getting a bowl of cereal. So yeah, let's just start the episode. We're going to be watching the Ninja Turtles. I think it's from 2006. Anyways, the first episode is called Things Change. It's basically the first reboot of the Ninja Turtle series. So let's get started. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1, play. And there's a giant moon there. And it's just going down. There's the Ninja Turtles. Yeah, so this show was launched, I think, back in 2006. I was in high school at the time. And, I was so excited for this show. So excited. I remember being into the 1980s Ninja Turtles. Only having watched a few episodes. I didn't have access to it. I didn't have internet and all that. But the thing is, when I did watch it, I loved it. And there were the comic books as well. I have a few of them. They were really good. But when this show came out, I was so pumped. And when I found out it was going to be out, I was watching it on Fox Box, I think it's called. The Fox Saturday morning program for kids. So yeah, Fox Box was showing it. And I remember recording it on VHS back in the day. Wanted to have it, make sure I had it. There was no internet back then for me. So, and even then, back then, to find an episode of a show like this was really hard. You had to either LimeWire it or find it somehow on Napster or something. And these shows were too new to be really shown on there. The intro is pretty cool. Yeah, the art in this is for me. This for me is my Ninja Turtles. I always thought the Ninja Turtles to be like anime-ish, drawn in this style. It's got the comic to it. Actually looks like a comic book. The other one is obviously more 1980s child-friendly. But this one here is meant to be like the dark Ninja Turtles for me. And later on, they came out with Turtles in Time. And that for me, I don't know, the way they did the animation. I mean, it's nice and all, but I prefer this one. Yeah, when this came out, I remember sitting down, pressing that record button on the VCR, and just like soaking in every minute of it, every second of it. Right, so they don't have their lair yet. They're still with Master Splinter, in just roaming the caves. I remember their lair being pretty sweet. I hope they get to it in the first episode. I don't remember if they do. I think they do, either in the first or second episode. But yeah, back then, one episode was shown, not even two to get you going, only one. So you have to wait 7 days for the next one, and then another 7. So you're getting 4 episodes a month. I mean, to today's standards, that's a lot, but for a kid to wait 7 days, you're going to school, you can't wait for that, man. You just want more of it. And whatever little exposure of the episode is out there, whether it's in a comic book or a Nintendo Power issue or the video game or anything, I would grab it, I'd cut out the articles, keep them. I still have the magazines in there from those days, and I think I have a couple of the Turtle games from this generation. They're really good. And the voice actors are really good too. I forget. I think one of the characters has been voicing the same turtle, or I could be wrong, for like a few of the shows, or maybe some of the characters are in. I don't know. Some of the voice actors might be in other Ninja Turtle series. But I gotta say, I've never really been a fan of the newer Ninja Turtles, the ones with the bigger feet and all that. They look too cartoonish. I mean, they do look okay. Don't get me wrong, but it's just when I see Ninja Turtles, I see it for me. This is my Ninja Turtles. I wish they had more stories of this Ninja Turtles. The other one's nice. I wouldn't mind it as maybe like one season or maybe just a movie with that animation, but not a whole series. The story's really good. Just put the story in this kind of thing. And I'm sure you can make it a little bit nicer today. Add a little bit more CG art. But when I say CG art, what I mean is like in the drawing of the characters. Maybe it'll be drawn in the computer this time instead of on paper, which goes against my logic because usually I enjoy it drawn on paper or on a cell. But I just think keep the same characters, like the way they did in the space one later on in Turtles in Space, whatever it's called. I didn't like that draw design. I don't know what happened. It started to look like that show Chaotix that was playing on 4Kids TV. It had that kind of feel to it. Yeah, is it this episode they get the shell cell? Yeah, the Mausers. Oh, I'll never forget watching that the first time. I never even realized that the Mausers were part of the original series. Yeah, as a kid growing up, I had no idea of the story of Ninja Turtles. I didn't even know there was a backstory. I always thought it was just episode after episode of action, no story, just showcasing things for toys, and I would buy it. But now that I look at it, if you go deep into the comic, if you go into the Eastman and Laird stuff, they do pay homage to it a lot. And there's one episode in this series where they pay homage to Jack Kirby. That's a really cool episode. Donatello goes into another dimension, and with a couple superheroes, and it's just drawn in that style of Jack Kirby comics. But yeah, even the people that worked on this show, just having done that, know and appreciate comics themselves. So they got the perfect people to work on this stuff. I feel like comic book writers and like the guys that make the DC stuff, the Batman DC stuff, all those little mini series, those mini movies, they do great work because they're very passionate. The people that do the story and the people that draw are all fans of the stuff. Same with the people that work on Ninja Turtles. They're fans of Ninja Turtles. So you're not just working with somebody that's just doing a contract because he has to do Ninja Turtles. These people have been there for a while and they love their craft. Oh, is this where they get their lair? They're going to blow that up? Huh. Yeah, that's pretty cool. The way they all have different shaded colors to represent each other. I like the uniqueness of each one. I remember I had a few of the toys from this series, and they were really nice. They had really great detail. They even the Donatello's bow staff, the wood had even like engraves in it. It looked really good. And I do have some of the old ones from 1980s, and those ones are great too. They have actually even more detail. But I'm just saying, based off the show and everything, it fit well for the show. They had these little packs of it was like a tube, and inside they would have ooze, and there would be like a little baby turtle. So you would open it up and you'd have this goo to play with, and the turtle as like a bonus. So I remember getting that. It was just, yeah, I remember that goo was drying up so quickly. Yeah, these guys, the first bad guys you ever encounter. I remember I was pumped. I was like, oh, here we go, standing up, putting my bowl of cereal down. Oh, motherfucker. I don't know if they get darker later on or if they keep the same way. I think they keep the same way because this is the first episode. And I remember in the first episode when they showed the clip on Foxbox, they had the chain coming down from the sky. You know, like the little spark of the chain hitting the floor on that first scene. And I just remember seeing that and just being like, oh, this is sick. You know, look at the detail. Yeah, the first season of this show has really good episodes. There's one with, I think it's called Fallen Angel, where you meet Casey Jones, I think. Or Casey Jones' niece or something like that. But yeah. And then later on, I think season 3 or something, maybe even 2, they go to other dimensions. They start going in space. They start fighting Triceratons. And I didn't even realize Triceratons were part of the original Ninja Turtles. That's fucking crazy. Tell you. Yeah, it just looks straight out of a comic book. The way the apartment buildings, the shading going up with the big moon in the background. Look at the characters going across. They're hopping panels. My only complaint is it looks too similar. Like put a few brick buildings, add a few buildings with bricks and details. I honestly think they could do with a bit more shading and a bit more lines. Like look at the background with Splinter, and it just looks straight. It just looks too clean, if you will. Looks too clean. And if you put a bit more scuffs, like you're in the sewer, you know. You know what I would love to see, and I think everybody agrees. Honestly, the original Eastman Laird comics, black and white, on the screen, and I think they did do it. They did have an episode where they did it. And that episode, I just want more of those. That's all I want. Yeah, I wouldn't mind getting myself a couple of those comics. The big books, the collection books where they have the old comics. It's like a hardcover. You can read the comic books inside, all collections. I mean, it'd be nice to collect the series themselves as originals. But I feel like that would be a lot of work and a lot of money at the same time, obviously. But just the amount of space it would take, the amount of effort you'd have to go through. So just get one book, to get one hardcover book with everything in there. Plenty. Yeah, the Red Dragons. Yeah, that's the first time, right? That's the first time he kicks. And I always thought that guy, the guy he just kicked, I thought that was the big bad guy at one point, like his son or something. I forget his name. You know what I'm talking about? The guy with the big freaking, like the biggest character in the show with the big muscles. And I just remember throughout the show, the Dr. Baxter Stockman, whatever his name is, Baxter Stockman, getting mutilated almost like every season. He'd be missing a limb. He'd be put in a jar. He'd be put in a little spider suit. It was awesome. As a kid growing up, it was awesome because, you know, you're having these flashbacks of this character, and you're just seeing somebody get tormented and mutilated, but on not in like one episode, but in over a series, the course of like a season. So you get to know the character. It's a bit more intimate than just one episode. You know what I mean? The character develops and grows with you, and then all of a sudden later on he's totally mutilated, and you're going, oh my God, what are they going to do next? I think in one of them he had just eyeballs. Yeah, like look at that. It's just two colors in the background. But it's still cool. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's still cool. But yeah, as a kid, you're watching this, you're going, this is better than the 1980s Ninja Turtles. The motion, everything, the flow of the show, the way it looks, the awesomeness, the ninja. It's more ninja. The other Ninja Turtles was more turtles and pizza. This one's ninja. Fucking ninja. Yeah. Look at Leonardo. I don't remember who my favorite one was back then. I think I liked Raph and Mikey whenever they went at it. We're like, as far as the comedy, Michelangelo, obviously, he gets it. But he was good in some of the episodes. But he was still, Michelangelo I found was still compassionate to some degree. Like he wasn't, like the other characters in the 1980s, they didn't have too much personality. Like they were more simple and straightforward. But in this one here, they've got more character. They've got more tone to them, if you will, as far as their personality. Yeah, it's the first time you see the Blackfoot ninjas, whatever they're called. What are they called? Something like that. Something the Foot Clan. The Foot Clan. Damn it. Yeah, that's cool. I remember recording this on VHS and watching it probably about a good 18 times. This would have been back in 2006, right? I'm thinking 2006, or maybe I'm thinking 2003. I don't remember. I want to say 6. I'm pretty sure it's 6. But yeah, I remember in high school, this show I would bring the VHS to high school and pop it in the video player at lunch, just so watch it with some friends. It was worth it, honestly. Yeah, I wish we had YouTube back then. It would have been. Well, maybe we did, but they weren't allowed to put this on. Oh, and then the commercials. Don't get me started about the commercials from Foxbox. I remember McDonald's had a Inspector Gadget commercial with a dog tracker thing. You talk in it, and then it translates the dog. Oh, those are cool shurikens. Are those shurikens or ninjas? Well, they're ninja stars. I'll just call them ninja stars. Yeah, Master Splinter with a wooden stick, you know. I trained the Ninja Turtles. I mean, this guy's just defending the fort. Oh, okay, maybe this is where they find the lair. Yeah, he falls down the pipe. Yeah, he'd be pretty, he'd be a goner in reality. Please tell me this is the lair. Yeah, I remember they had the best lair. If you went on, once again, Foxbox, or maybe even 4Kids at one point, but if you went on foxbox.com and you clicked on the Ninja Turtles section page, they had built the lair. And it was pretty cool. They had the different areas, and all the characters were sitting. And if you clicked on them, they would say something. You can hover over every portion or part of the lair, and it would tell you what it is or what it was used for. Really cool. Yeah, the Ninja Turtles animated. What are they calling it these days? I'm just calling it the TMNT. I think it was TMNT 2006, or that's the movie. God, I'm so confused with this. But anyways, the whole point is this whole series worth a watch. There's definitely, I would say, a good handful of episodes that you need to watch. There's a few fillers. I mean, every show, every series has fillers. See there's more detail. I found there was more detail there. So yeah, maybe they do improve the. Or I'm just being too critical. I'm just seeing it now based because I've been watching all these other shows and they've had detail in certain areas. I'm just thinking how this one can be maybe a little bit better, with maybe a bit more shading, a bit more color. Well, it's a budget thing too, right? But yeah, look at that. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I just had a flashback right there of the Ultimate Spider-Man game back for the PS2 and the GameCube. You'd fly around, you'd swing around or kind of whip yourself around with Venom. You could play as Venom. And I remember playing it recently, and just the graphics being so bland and one-colored, one-dimensional. And this kind of feels like a step up. That's maybe why, because at the time we were exposed to more simple shading, more simple graphics. Things weren't as optimized, as optimized as today, and more critical as today. People know what they want now. They've had so much of it, and they know exactly what they're looking for, and you can find this exact specific target audience to hit certain people. And this show, I mean, for the people that kept watching TMNT up until today, kudos on them for sticking with the series. I mean, I've seen a few episodes. Don't get me wrong, but I find it's meant more today for 10-year-olds. Not saying that it wasn't meant back then for 10-year-olds, but the TMNT, this one here, this series, I feel like it's okay. Let's just put it this way: it's the oldest of its generation. Like for viewership. So say more 18-year-olds and 19-year-olds are going to watch this than 18 and 19-year-olds are going to watch the other one at the time of when it was out. But anyways, yeah, I don't even know what I'm saying. But what I'm getting to is that's a fucking cool air. But no, what I'm getting to is there would have been probably an older audience watching this than they're watching the Ninja Turtles today, is what I'm trying to say. And I don't know if I'm right or wrong, but that's my speculation. And I don't fucking care. Here we go. Oh, Splinter. That look, on the side it just looks like rat's tails. I know they're pipes, but they look like rat's tails. Is that Rokusaki, the Shredder? I can't believe they show the Shredder's face right away, right off the bat. Or are we to assume that we don't know that he's the Shredder? I'm pretty sure, right? Unless his suit of armor is like right beside him. That guy with the mohawk. It's a pretty cool hairdo. I wonder if anybody has ever dressed like that fucking guy. Wait, there's the Purple Dragons, right? Purple Dragons and then the Foot Clan. And the Foot Clan just has like a giant, the biggest Asian structure in the city, which isn't Hong Kong. It's probably Manhattan. I like how they show the credits on the side, and then they have the episode on the left. They're showing the intro again. Oh, this was all made in Korea. Yeah, no wonder it's really good. They worked on Rocko's Modern Life. They worked on almost all the Nickelodeon shows from back in the day. Those production companies in Korea, they're the best. Yeah, 4Kids Entertainment. Yeah, I remember there was a lot of problems with 4Kids. That's the end of the episode, by the way. So yeah, I remember there was a lot of problems with 4Kids being, I don't know, licensing issues. But yeah, Foxbox had great shows. You can watch Kirby right back at you. They had Ultimate Muscle. Ultraman Tiga started with it. Fighting Foodons is another one, which are shows you're probably not even going to find. I might be able to find an episode or two and maybe doing a little small YouTube video on that. But no, these shows that were airing back then, that started back then, they were fantastic. They grabbed whatever licensing they can get from Japan, wherever. They even got One Piece in English, which was great. I loved One Piece. I started watching One Piece after that, after seeing it. But yeah, anyway, so thanks for watching the TMNT episode 1 from season 1. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't. Check us out on Twitter, on Facebook. And then I'm uploading a podcast on iTunes as well. So if you want to write me a quick message and a comment, go ahead. And yeah, have a good one. And we'll be tuning along soon. Okay, ciao.